Why does it sometimes feel that the more involved you get in the health space, the more unhealthy things there are to watch out for? Just when you thought you had it all covered, there seems to be more to learn about. You have to get incandescent bulbs rather than LED to protect your energy in the mitochondria of your cells. Just when you thought you were successful at avoiding hormone-disrupting microplastics by avoiding eating and drinking out of plastic containers, now there's some new studies that show that there are actually microplastics in glass containers. The examples that I just mentioned are valid to a certain degree, but at what point does watching out for your health actually become the behavior that is unhealthy? Sometimes people call this orthorexia, the obsession with getting everything right when it comes to your health, where ironically enough, that very behavior ends up disrupting your health gains because of all of the stress that it's causing. But on the other hand, we don't want to give up completely. We still want to be mindful of our health. We just don't want to develop health consciousness burnout. So in this video, we'll be talking about what it means to take care of yourself, but still be at peace with your health decisions, and how to set boundaries for yourself so that you're prioritizing both your physical and your mental well-being. I'm Karina. I'm a certified nutrition and movement coach, and welcome to my channel where we discuss practical ways to elevate our wellness from a mind, body, soul perspective. There's one core question to consider when it comes to having a balance between staying physically healthy and mentally healthy, and also having the freedom to live life to the fullest. The key question to ask yourself is, what are my non-negotiables when it comes to my health, both when I'm at home and when I'm traveling, visiting friends and family? And in order to answer this question, you need to understand how your unique body responds to external stressors. For example, some people will have gene variants related to detox enzymes like GSTs and CYPs that affect their body's ability to respond to environmental pollutants. Now, this doesn't mean that if you have these gene variants, you will definitely experience problems. It just means that it's a sign to take extra care of your detox system, specifically the phase 1 and phase 2 detox process in your liver, by, for example, making sure you're getting enough antioxidants. And you don't necessarily need to get a gene test in order to figure this out. You could just notice how your body responds to different situations. For example, for me, one of my non-negotiables is reducing my exposure to dust and other air pollutants and having an air filter in my home. I notice that I immediately start to have symptoms like coughing and congestion whenever I'm exposed to, say, a chemical-laden fragrance or car exhaust, or maybe air from an HVAC that isn't super clean. And there was an example recently that really drove this home for me. I was getting my hair cut, and the stylist at the end sprayed, the traditional chemically hairspray on my hair. And at first I thought it's not a big deal. I don't get my hair cut very often. Just once is going to be fine. But I noticed a tingling in my throat immediately after she sprayed that. And then later on at 2 a.m., I woke up coughing incessantly. I couldn't breathe. And I just said, okay, I have to hop in the shower at 2 a.m. and wash this gunk out of my hair. And once I shampooed, immediately my symptoms stopped. Your body will tell you very clearly when it doesn't like something. So for me, air pollutants are a non-negotiable. I keep that air filter in my home, and then when I'm traveling, if I do get exposed, I keep a bottle of zeolite with me, which is an effective detox binder. That really helps to reduce my symptoms. And then I also make sure that I'm taking care of my antioxidant system, that I'm stimulating my body's endogenous antioxidants, meaning that the body makes it on its own. Superoxide dismutase and glutathione are the main types of antioxidants that your body produces in response to healthy stressors like sauna and exercise. And I'm also making sure I'm getting in the cofactors to these antioxidants like vitamin C, vitamin E. And then there are other things that are my non-negotiables at home, but I'm not as picky about them when I'm traveling or visiting friends and family. For example, when I'm at home, I always eat organic and grass-fed and finished animal products, but when I'm traveling, I'm not so picky about that because I know that my body can handle a little bit of that kind of stress of not having those things temporarily. So what you're doing by creating these non-negotiables is you're reducing your list of things that you need to watch out for. And it's not that you're never going to revisit some other considerations. It's just that you're reducing the overwhelm, because the overwhelm often comes when we're trying to do so many things at one time. So when you reduce your list of the things that you absolutely need to do, then you have the freedom later on down the line to revisit some of these other considerations. For example, for me, I did replace the lights in my home from LED to incandescent, just because I didn't really have to go super out of my way in order to do that. All of that being said, I do think that there are 3 basics that could benefit everyone. The first one is going to be getting a good quality water filter. There are hundreds of unregulated contaminants in our tap water, so it's really an essential to have a good quality filter. Berkey has a lot of great options, different price points. That's where I started out when I was at the beginning of my health journey. Or if you're open to getting a reverse osmosis filter, which is what I have now, that can work great as well. And then second is a good quality air filter. I mentioned that that was one of my non-negotiables, but this can really benefit everyone. You want to make sure it's HEPA certified, but then there are a lot of different options that you can find on Amazon, anywhere online, depending on your space. The third one is to buy organic produce whenever possible, especially those dirty dozen. This is the list of the 12 foods that are most likely to be contaminated with pesticides. It's put out by the Environmental Working Group each year, and they have the full list on their website, but some of them include things like greens, berries, stone fruits like apples and peaches. As for the rest of it, that's where those non-negotiables come in. My non-negotiables might not be the same as yours. Once you've got that shorter list, it feels a lot more achievable to address the things that are most important to you. And then once you're comfortable with that initial list, then you can start to explore some other options, but from a place of inspiration rather than overwhelm. You'll find lots of other tips on this channel about health optimization tools that I think are important. I have a video on detoxification that goes into more detail about some of the things that I talked about here. I also have a video on hormone balance that goes into detox because that is an important part of balancing your endocrine system. If you want a more simplified approach to getting healthier, especially when it comes to the specifics of nutrition, to support the way that your body functions, your energy levels, and you can sign up for the Masterclass for Superhuman Level Health, which walks you through the 3 most important pillars for thriving in your body, and the link to that is in the description. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and share it with someone else who could benefit. And if you want to learn about more ways to feel amazing in your body and your mind, you can subscribe to this channel. Lots of love, and I'll talk to you soon.